Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Reni and I'm one half of the Indecisive Readers. If you are new here, I would like to, one, address the fact that there's some terrible stuff going on in the world, and I would really implore you to go and check out my description and find some petitions that you should sign in support of Black Lives Matter, but also transgender people, LGBT plus people, and everyone around the world who's not the straight white male. Second of all, my hair's wet. My hair is not usually like really dark, kind of reddy brown. It's not usually straight, but it is usually quite long. But basically, this is my beach hut. Well, not my beach hut personally, this is my family's beach hut. And I've just been down to the beach and I'm rambling. But today's video is my July TBR. There aren't any readathons that I'm aware of going on in July. There are probably some going on, but there aren't any like that I've immediately got on my radar, and I've been joining in with readathons for the last like 3 or 4 months, and I just want like a month where I'm not committing to anything, because this month I've already read like 10 books or something and we've still got 12 days left or something, and I just need to calm down. But saying that, I have got 8 on this list, so I'm obviously not planning on calming down that much. But yeah, I'm just going to get straight in and tell you what ones I have. So the first on my list is The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the 3rd book in the David trilogy, which is a trilogy that retells 1001 Nights, which has like Middle Eastern folklore and kind of Arabian folklore, that kind of stuff, and it's magical and full of jinn warriors and magical water beings and great healers and my favourite character Nari, and there's just so many good things about it, and I've absolutely loved the first 2 in the series, and the final book came out last week, yeah, 2 weeks ago, it came out a couple of weeks ago, and I'm super excited to read it. I would try and squeeze it in this month, but I just think I want the time to kind of really ingest it. Is that the right word? I'm also hopefully going to get the audiobook, because I love the audiobooks for this series. They're so well done. And yeah, I'm prepared to have my heart broken. The second on my list is Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid. This is a contemporary book about a black woman who takes her white babysitting child out for the night, and then the security guards assume she's stolen the child, and it kind of, I think, explores, well, I assume it explores race and prejudice, and it's not usually my kind of normal read, but a friend lent it to me probably just before lockdown, so I've had it for a while, but obviously I haven't seen her to give it back. But I feel like I should read it soon. I should obviously read it at the moment, because like I said earlier, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world with Black Lives Matter, and I want to read more books by black authors. My hair's very damp. Speaking of black authors, the next on my list is Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Reni Eddo-Lodge. This is the go-to book about race, I think, because of the title, it's so obvious what it's about, and I think a lot of people have heard about it, so when they've been meaning to read something, they've just gone for that one. And to be honest, that's kind of what I've done too. I actually didn't know what it was about first, but I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but it was the cover that caught my attention first, because it's such a clever cover. And yeah, I actually have this, well, should have this on loan from my library, because I put it on loan at the start of the month and there was a 25-week waiting list, and I was like, that's a lot of weeks. But also I'm like, you know what, I'm glad that's a lot of weeks, because that means a lot more people are trying to educate themselves, and obviously you can't just read it, you have to like keep reading it, and you have to keep educating yourself and trying to implement those changes. But the fact that a lot of people are trying to take that first step is progress. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to put it on my list. Then a couple of days later, the waiting list had gone down to 9 weeks, and I was like, oh no, that's a shame. A lot of people have chucked it to the side, but it turned out actually they'd got 2 additional copies, and by having 2 additional copies it had gone down that much. And then actually they must have got about 10 more copies on top of that, because I think they got 12 additional copies since I first put it on loan, and it went down to 2 weeks, and I just thought that was incredible and just shows you the power of libraries. And there are a lot of books by black authors I want to request from the library so more people can read them. But anyway, that's me babbling by saying that's a good thing, and I'm interested in reading the book. I did get it this month, but I have pushed it back because I have another book about Wraiths, and I kind of, not that I don't want to read them, but I want to spread them out, because like I said, I think it's not about reading them once, it's about continuing to read them, and I feel like reading one a month or something will probably be better. Then I also have You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, which is also by a black author and has some LGBT plus rep. This is also on loan, or will be on loan from my library as an ebook, but I believe it's on script as an audiobook maybe. I am really looking forward to reading this. It's about a girl who isn't as financially privileged as some of her white peers are, and she has these grand plans of going off to university or college, because it's in America, and setting herself up on a better path. But then her financial, what's called, like loan, bursary kind of thing, that's not the word, what is it, brownie sponsorship? That falls through, and so suddenly all her plans are kind of thrown up in the air. And then she remembers that her school offer a scholarship, that was the word I was thinking of, offer a scholarship to the prom king and queen, and so she decides she's going to try and pursue that, and in doing that she meets another girl who's also in a less than ideal position, and they maybe fall in love. In fact, I think they definitely will. But I'm really interested in reading this. It sounds like so much fun. I've heard a lot of people say really good things about it, and again, because it's on loan from my library, I'm really excited to see a black author there. Let's do my next library loan. This isn't due to come in for another 4 weeks, but that should probably be about towards the end of July, but that is Aurora Burnin by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. This is the second book in the, I don't know what the series is called, but the first book is Aurora Rising, and it follows a squad of misfits. Tyler, who is the like all-star magical perfect, not magical but perfect cadet at his school, ends up missing the final exam and gets left with the like ragtag group, and they're all bad, but they're not actually bad, they're just misunderstood. And I don't want to read this, but I'm going to. I didn't love the first one, I just thought it was alright. I was frustrated by a lot of it and just wasn't blown away by it. But I actually brought Sam the sequel recently because he really enjoyed, well, I didn't really enjoy it, but kind of rated it 3 stars. I think I made him hate it a bit more. But I got him the sequel because I thought, well, he's got the first one in hardback, I want the second one. And he hated it. He rated it 0 stars. He was so frustrated. He said all the time it may have been like 2 or 3 stars, and then the end, like, really royally peed him off, and he just like ripped it to shreds in his review, and I will link it down below because I think it's hilarious. And so I'm just reading it so we can have a discussion. Maybe we'll do a video about it or something, but yeah, it was just, it really amused me, and I think it would be a fun thing to film. I think all of these, all bar 3 of these, are ebooks. I haven't got any audiobooks. I'll get Empire of Card. Anyway, next audiobook, next book is Dreamland by Nancy Bilyeau. This is a book I got from NetGalley last October or December. It came out in January and I started reading it in January and I just wasn't interested. And I haven't had the drive to pick it up again. But I don't know if I like have DNF'd it. I just put it down because I was reading other things at the time. I was doing my like romance readathon and was reading all the romance, and so I just wasn't, not that I wasn't in the mood for it, I mean I wasn't, because I don't know what it's about. It's about like some rich girl who doesn't want to be with her rich family, she just wants to work in the bookshop, and then she falls in love with someone that she shouldn't and all that kind of stuff. But it just, in the first like 17%, because I've read 17%. In the first 17% I wasn't interested, and it's just been on my Goodreads shelf since then, and I'm just like, I don't want to pick this up, but I need to pick it up because it's a NetGalley read, and if I didn't have to read it I wouldn't have picked it up again. I think I thought it was going to be like The Night Circus because it's got like a circus on the cover, but it's not, and I don't know what it's meant to be about. But I have like 6 or 7 stagnant reads on NetGalley, and I need to start going through them. I've had a few recent ones that I'm really excited about, but like there are just some that I've left them so long that I'm no longer interested in them, so I'm going to try and make a point of reading at least one of them a month, and I feel like this will be the good one to start with because I've already started with it. Then as another e-arc I have Who I Was With Her by Nita Tyndall. I included this in my video for anticipated reads for the second half, or the like second half and a bit, no, second half minus a bit of 2020, and I tagged Harper 360, which are like the English version of Harper Teen, in it, and they were like, we'll send you an e-arc, and I was like, yes please. And I'm so excited because it sounds amazing. It's about this girl who, actually I have a summary for this one because it was in my anticipated reads. Corinne is certain of 2 things. She loves her secret girlfriend Maggie, and that she's not ready for anyone to know she's bi. But then Maggie dies and Corinne has to grieve over a relationship no one knew existed. To make matters worse, the only one who understands Corinne's situation is Maggie's ex. I like the sound of many things about this, but possibly my favourite thing about it is the fact that the main character is explicitly bi, and I feel like we don't have enough books about that, and I'm just really excited to see how it's represented, and yeah, just to get an arc. I'm just super hyped, and yeah, so I want to put this on my TBR whilst I'm still excited for it because it's going to be so good. Then the final book, is it the final book? Yes, the final official book I want to read. There are a few more that we will discuss in a minute, but the final official book I have to read is The Priory, The Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Now I don't have to read this the whole way through, but I was hosting a read along for it, a week by week read along, where we'd read 50 pages at a time, and I gave up after the first week. Not because I gave up, but like I said, I've been doing so many readathons, I just kind of haven't scheduled it in, and I thought 50 pages a week would be fine, but I just feel like I should be reading my readathon books. So Believeathon happened, and then I wanted to read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and then Make Your Myth Taker, and yeah, I just got distracted, and that's a shame because I love that book and I was really enjoying reading it because I was annotating it, I've been drawing on it, and I've just been having lots of fun, and I wanted to keep up with other people, so it may be the first one I read in the month just to kind of get up to date, because I'm probably, I don't know how many pages behind. I swear it doesn't finish until August. It might finish in July, I don't think. But I'm probably about like 300, 400 pages behind, which isn't ideal. So yeah, I really want to catch up with that. But if you don't know what that's about and you want to join us, it's a feminist retelling of George and the Dragon, with dragons, with lesbians, with magic, with, well, they're not just lesbians, with female romances, with a queen who is meant to save the world by having, well, it's not meant to save the world, but it's meant to keep the world safe by having a child, and she doesn't want a child, and it's coming up to the end of 1,000 years or just over 1,000 years, and there are so many parts into it, it's difficult to explain, and that was really bad. But if you want to join me, I will leave all the information about it in the description like I usually do. Like I said, we were doing it over about 4 months behind, so you'll be joining me. You'll only be 50 pages behind me, so it'll be fine if you want to join it. Also, there are some other books that I will probably end up reading. There are a lot of books I want to read, but like I said, this is like 8 books long, and I wanted to give myself like some time off, but that doesn't look likely. But some other books I want to read, I don't know. I am part of Ashley at a Frolic Through Fiction's Patreon club, and she's choosing a book club, but that might be over 3 months. But if it's only over 1 month, I'll have that one. And then I also have a few towards the end of this month that I want to read, like arcs that are coming out for books in July. And yeah, and also I'm kind of in the mood for some cute romance, but I struggle with cute romances. But I am in the mood for writing my cute romance again, which is why I want to read more bisexual books, because she is bisexual and she's exploring that. So I want to read some more research kind of books. So yeah, I don't actually know which ones I'm going to read next month, but I thought I'd give you a tentative TBR because it's been a few months since I haven't, because it's been a few months since I've done a tentative TBR without readathons. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and a comment to let me know you're here. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Don't know what to do with my hands when I've got it. What do I do?